Mornings can be rough as a classroom teacher. There are items that need to be collected, behaviors that maybe need to be addressed that have carried over from the day before, not to mention the fact that students come into the morning carrying whatever burdens from their morning or the night before. Lack of sleep, arguments with parents or siblings, etc. It's no wonder that mornings can easily become a little chaotic. So in today's episode, I'm going to give you my tips to have a calm, enjoyable morning right when your students walk in the door. Tip number 1, bring the calm. Your classroom is your space. You have the ability to transform your room into an enjoyable, welcoming place for your students to enter. Even though we can't control what happens outside of school hours, we can make sure that the classroom is always a safe, inviting place for students to learn. Every morning, I put on relaxing, calm music, thank you Pandora, to help establish that peaceful atmosphere.
Oh, frankincense, that's exotic. Little bit for the diffuser, little bit for me, little bit for the diffuser, lot of it for me.
Tip number 2, designated turn-in spots. Mornings are typically a time when there is a lot of paper collection going on. On a weekly basis, there are assignments being turned in, tests or behavior reflections with parent signatures, parent notes. The list goes on. Instead of having papers being waved in your face by your students when they walk in the door,
Too much paper.
have a designated spot for assignments, signed tests, and other parent communication. A 3-tiered tray labeled by category will definitely help with this process so that you're no longer being bombarded with paper first thing in the morning. Tip number 3, morning work. I highly recommend having a low-stakes morning work routine for students, a regular assignment that all students can be successful at without teacher support. This buys you some time to take care of any daily logistics, taking attendance, checking in with individual students as needed, etc. I recommend morning work that lasts from 10 to 15 minutes. Some ideas could be morning journal entries, daily grammar practice or review, silent reading, a math review, anything that all students can work on without needing substantial help. Tip number 4, warmly greet students. Just like you can create a calm environment through your classroom environment, your actions first thing in the morning will set the mood as students begin to enter. First thing in the morning, I view myself as this gatekeeper to another dimension. I stand at the door and greet students individually as they enter. Having a positive disposition and warmly saying hello to each individual gives me the opportunity to also diffuse any negative emotions or bad moods if needed.
Well, good morning, Genevieve. You're looking awful swell. High five. Oh, don't worry. You'll go into those hands.
Tip number 5, student helpers. With all the little tasks that may need to get done first thing in the morning, I highly recommend relying on your responsible student helpers. Train students to accomplish the small tasks that you have to take care of first thing in the morning. An attendance helper can help report absences to you. Homework helpers can help check for homework completion. I personally have to collect laptops first thing in the morning from the neighboring classroom. So I have technology helpers that I don't even need to remind. They just head right over first thing, grab our laptops, and I don't have to remember. How have your morning routines been going? I'd love to hear from you. I'm Beth Cunningham Murray. If you enjoyed this episode of Classroom Quick Tips, please subscribe and ring that bell to stay up to date on all the new content. Thank you so much for watching.